Applying for federal financial aid? This year, the government is trying to make it easy for students.
I'm here at the Hall of Justice, where the Sheriff's Department is announcing a new media campaign. That story coming up next.
There are calls to remove some of the stars on Hollywood's Walk of Fame, what the city's Chamber of Commerce is planning.
Annenberg TV News is next.
Live from USC, you're watching Annenberg TV News.
If you're a college student applying for federal financial aid this fall, there's a new mobile app that can help you through the process. Good evening, I'm Colin Taylor.
And I'm Taylor Elliott. The FAFSA.
I feel like the app is very useful because you can do it anywhere. It doesn't really require you to have like a computer or Wi-Fi, so that's very convenient for me.
The mobile app in the app stores aid late this summer ahead of college application season. The FAFSA application for federal student aid can be confusing for students and their families.
What they are trying to do is allow students to be able to fill out the form with the help of their parent, who might have some of the details of their financial history, while they are online on the internet when they might not have a computer in their house.
The new FAFSA application goes on first.
Tonight, NBC News is reporting a fourth woman accusing Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh of sexual misconduct. This comes just hours before Kavanaugh and another accuser are set to testify for a Senate committee. Meantime, President Trump continues to defend his nominee, but says he's willing to consider the evidence against him.
Republican senators have delayed this for weeks now. They're giving the women a major chance to speak. Now, it's possible I'll hear that and I'll say, hey, I'm changing my mind. That is possible.
The Senate Judiciary Committee has hired attorney Rachel Mitchell to question both Brett Kavanaugh and his first accuser, Dr. Christine Blasey Ford, at tomorrow's hearing on Capitol Hill. Rachel Mitchell is a career prosecutor and registered Republican from Arizona. She worked as the Division Chief of Special Victims Unit in Phoenix and is well respected for her history of handling cases of sexual misconduct. Her current boss describes her as deeply understanding of sexual assault victims and fully qualified for the position. Brett Kavanaugh denies all the accusations against him and says that he will not withdraw himself from the nomination process.
150 undocumented immigrants were arrested this week in Los Angeles, Riverside, and Orange counties. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement said in a statement nearly all those detained had prior criminal convictions. Those arrested were from a dozen countries. We've reached out to several immigrant organizations for comment and have not yet received a response. The Sheriff's Department has launched a new campaign aimed at saving lives. But as Trevor Sahaki shows us, the campaign is also designed to scare people.
This is not only common sense, but keeping firearms locked up is the law.
The LA Sheriff's Department announced a new campaign today to prevent accidental gun deaths.
Some gun-owning parents may not even have any idea of the unintentional harm of the situation presented when they don't properly secure a weapon.
According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, 3,000 children were unintentionally shot and 127 were killed in incidents resulting from improperly stored guns in 2016. The sheriff also pointed out how to properly lock guns. But the guns on this table are more than just props. Each of these was involved in a fatal shooting. The department's videos alert parents to the dangers of kids having guns. A warning, these videos might be disturbing to some people.
Can I be the zombie? Okay, I've got something really cool we can use. Bang, bang! Bang, bang!
A representative for Women Against Gun Violence and supporter of the new campaign was at work when she got a call that a shooter was at her son's summer camp.
When I left for work this morning, everybody was asleep in bed. I didn't say goodbye, I didn't do anything, and now maybe. So, yeah, it was not a good day.
Her son survived being shot twice. His father believes action works better than education.
There's just too many guns out there, and as the sheriff was pointing out today, they are not well stored, they are accessible, and people think, oh, we'll educate the little kids so they know to stay away from guns. That doesn't work.
They and the sheriff want to ensure all parents do their part to keep every child safe. For Annenberg Media, I'm Trevor Sahaki.
A report from the National Association of Home Builders says only 8% of homes sold in Los Angeles last quarter were considered affordable. To be affordable, housing payments should be no more than 28% of total income. The average home price in LA is nearly $600,000 and would require a salary of almost $115,000. Rising prices have affected homeowners around USC.
Instead of putting all these stadiums in one area, then everybody has to pay through the roof to live here because they live right across the street from USC or where the football games are happening every day, when really I just need a place to live.
California has become an expensive state to live. LA is the second least affordable city in the country, with San Francisco taking the #1 spot.
A discussion today at the USC Price School of Public Policy focused on whether Proposition 10 on the November to the LA renters or pose added problems. Proposition 10 would repeal the Costa-Hawkins Rent Housing Act and allow local cities to adopt rent control. Critics say that this could lead to less demand for building new homes and create a housing shortage. Those for and against Prop 10 are shared their thoughts and shed light on what they could be at stake.
It's not going to have as big an impact as either the proponents or the opponents are saying, but it will allow us to protect more tenants, and that in and of itself is a reason to vote for Prop 10.
I'm not sure that trying to vote for something that doesn't solve it, that leaves the door open to unintended consequences, is the way to go.
LA voters will have the chance to vote on Prop 10 on November 6th. Are you ready for the big one? Tonight, a panel is addressing the readiness of Los Angeles for their next big earthquake. An expert says that these natural disasters are still hard to predict.
The earthquakes are going to come, and we always say it's either today or it could be 200 years from now. We have a center here at USC that works on earthquakes, and we're continually making better and better estimates of the dangers of earthquakes and doing a lot of basic science. So with luck, we'll have a good exchange of ideas, and everyone will come away knowing better what we're facing.
In the event of earthquakes, the USC Fire Safety and Emergency Planning Office recommends a drop, cover, and hold until the damage is assessed by each building's emergency planning response team. If there is a need to evacuate, it will lead you to your building's designated evacuation site, where you should wait until it is safe to re-enter the building.
People are arguing for the removal of Bill Cosby's Hollywood star, a day after he was sentenced to up to 10 years in prison and branded a sexual predator. Nicole Farage talked to people along the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Bill Cosby's star on Hollywood's Walk of Fame will remain. He isn't the only one whose star is highly controversial. Some have called for the stars of other celebrities, including actor Kevin Spacey and President Donald Trump, to be removed. Now that Cosby is going to jail, we spoke to people about the future of his star.
I think if you're going to have a star there, that's for something for people to look up to, and telling kids that it's the right thing to do when you're a convicted rapist is not the best of it. So, yeah, I think you should take it away.
People shouldn't be rewarded after doing a bunch of horrible things their whole life, especially he was convicted. So now definitely it should be removed.
The Hollywood Chamber of Commerce released a statement explaining that they do not remove Hollywood stars from this boulevard. They explain that once the stars are installed, they are here to stay because they become cultural historic landmarks. They also went on to say that though it is unfortunate and regrettable that the personal decisions of these public individuals do not match the expectations of society, that is not grounds for removal. A star will cost you $40,000, according to the Hollywood Walk of Fame website. The money is used for installation and a ceremony, as well as the maintenance of the Walk of Fame. Celebrities must go through a nomination and selection process in order to be considered. The Hollywood Chamber of Commerce further defended their decision by saying the stars only commemorate professional accomplishments of each celebrity. For Annenberg Media, I'm Nicole Farage.
There's a recall on ground beef, a brand sold at the Target near USC.
And the top convention downtown is connecting cannabis companies from all around the world.
Plus, what is the top movie of 2018? Students weigh in on the People's Choice Award nominees. Next.
We'd do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 5 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org.
Got a quarter? Target employees at the University Village rushed to remove all ground beef bought from Cargill Meat Services. More than 132,000 pounds of the meat has been found to be infected with E. coli. The U.S. Department of Agriculture says the beef was packaged in Colorado and shipped to stores nationwide. The brands affected include Our Certified, XL, Sterling Silver, Certified, and Fire River Farms. The recalled beef had a July 11th use or freeze by date. For more information, visit the USDA's food safety site at fsis.usda.gov.
We take them off the shelves as soon as possible, and we have to put them inside of a recall box. We go through the process of recalling them, and then we send them back to the company that gave them to us. So we don't throw them out ourselves, we just send them back to the company.
The USDA recommends people who may have contaminated meat to return it to the store where they bought it or throw it away. Some big chain supermarkets are using blockchain technology or digital cash transactions to help keep food safe. The technology helps track produce and avoid major recalls. The experts say the use of this technology is becoming more mainstream.
I do think that it's very promising that these big corporations are starting to explore blockchain technology in things that are as normal as lettuce tracking, which could potentially have big implications. If they do succeed, then yeah, it could potentially make our produce consumption safer.
Walmart says it's using blockchain technology to track leafy greens, but plans to use it to track other products. The company hopes the technology will limit food waste and give consumers some peace of mind.
The U.S. government says about 80,000 Americans died from flu complications last year, making it one of the most severe flu seasons the nation has seen. Typically, the number of flu-related deaths is between 12 and 56,000. The Engelman Health Center has some helpful tips to help you get from getting the flu. Wash your hands frequently with soap and water. Cover all coughs and sneezes with your sleeve or a disposable tissue and avoid others who are sick. Most importantly, make sure you stay home and seek medical help if you discover any symptoms. You can also get a flu shot from the Student Health Center for $20.
A major music icon gets burglarized and the People's Choice Award nominees are here.
Buzz reporter Brogan Craner has the latest.
Thanks, Colin and Taylor. In today's entertainment news, music superstar Rihanna has experienced yet another home burglary. The singer's Hollywood Hills mansion was broken into Tuesday night, according to The Hollywood Reporter. Authorities said they responded to the call around 9:30 p.m. Rihanna was not home at the time, and it is still unclear what exactly was stolen. This is the second time the house has been broken into this year. The first was last May, when the suspect decided to spend the night. Now turning to more uplifting news, the People's Choice Award nominees have been announced and voting is officially open. The winners are chosen by the people, and when it comes to top movies, there are no better judges than USC film students. So if it were up to us, who would win the top movie of 2018?
I don't see much variety here, don't you think?
I mean, Black Panther obviously was amazing.
Oh, 50 Shades Freed.
Yeah.
My movie of the year is going to be Avengers Infinity War.
I'm going to have to go with Black Panther because honestly, as a black man, I'd never had that feeling that I had when I saw the movie and I saw people on screen looking like me.
Maybe A Quiet Place. I thought that was really great.
Black Panther. Not just because, representation is amazing, but also Ryan Coogler is holding it down for USC School of Cinematic Arts.
I also asked about the most binge-worthy TV show of 2018 category, and the overwhelming majority said Shameless. You yourself can vote right now online. The People's Choice Awards will air November 11th only on E! Colin and Taylor, back to you.
Well, thank you, Brogan. My favorite movie of the year was probably Infinity War 2. How about you?
Oh, honestly, probably same.
But we should go to Sammy with the weather.
I can't agree with you about Infinity War there, but I will say Black Panther was pretty good. It was a little bit overcast yesterday, and luckily today has not been quite the same. Our current forecast for today is 73 degrees. Nice and warm out there. No more wrapping up in blankets, sadly, between classes because you're not good at handling cold weather. Moving on into this week's forecast, looking at the Highlands. In Big Bear, it's going to be 77, but down in Palm Springs, 105, so we're having a wide range in temperatures there as usual, but a little bit hotter than usual. Moving on to the coastal area, Malibu again is colder than everywhere else with the ocean breeze coming in and keeping it at a comfortable 74, while the rest of the area in the valley is in the 90s, ranging between 91 and 99. Moving over to the LA Basin at USC tomorrow, it's going to be 89 degrees, a little bit hotter once again, but not too bad. And looking at the whole range of the LA Basin, once again, between 80s and almost 100. So that's a wider range of temperatures, so make sure you know what it's going to be like if you're traveling around. Looking into this week's forecast, tomorrow, 87, as said before. It's going to be mostly sunny, but spreading out further through the week, it's going to have a slight cloud cover building until eventually on Monday night, it might be raining. So looking forward to next week, prepare for a little bit of a weather change. Speaking of mildly violent weather, Typhoon Trami is approaching Japan, only weeks after another typhoon struck the region. While storms of this level can be called by many different names across the globe, they're all technically the same thing. The real name, scientifically speaking, is a tropical cyclone, but you may know them in the Atlantic and Eastern Pacific areas as hurricanes, as we've seen with Florence and in a lot of the hurricanes coming into our land. We hear about them a lot, but we also hear about tropical cyclones and typhoons without really understanding that it is the same thing. Now, the scales they use to measure them can be a little bit different, but the actual classifications of the storms are the same. If you look in the region around the Indian Ocean and parts of the Pacific as well, this is where they usually go by the name of cyclone or cyclonic storm. Whereas in the Western Pacific, where Typhoon Trami is currently located, where Typhoon Trami is currently located, they're usually called typhoons. So Typhoon Trami was originally expected to make landfall in Taiwan, but has now turned north, moving towards the Japanese islands. With winds equivalent to those of a level 2 hurricane, Trami is considered a class 5 typhoon. Honestly, with all the storm weather going on with Florence and Trami and some of the other typhoons that have been striking that area, we have just been in a cyclone of storm coverage here at the weather station.
Oh boy, that was marvelous. Well, thank you, Sammy. Today is the first day of Cannabis World Congress and Business Exposition at LA Convention Center. The 4-day event connects businesses in the legalized cannabis industry. Participants include growers, business owners, and lawyers, attendees ranging from entrepreneurs looking to break into the business and those already in the industry. Cannabis professionals are holding lectures and networking.
I think it shows the professionalism coming into the industry, especially in Los Angeles when, we've had the gray market operate here for years and years. So it's nice to see, all these businesses coming together, networking, getting deals done, and just, doing as much as we can to take the entire industry forward.
Interested attendees over the age of 18 can purchase a variety of ticket and workshop passes. Let's toss it to our sports anchor, Angel Vizcarra.
There we go. Thanks, folks. Well, it's a tango out in Tucson this weekend for the USC football team. We'll have more on the Trojans' big-time divisional matchup with Arizona this Saturday. And for the second-ranked USC women's soccer team, it's a battle of the Titans this weekend as they are slated to tussle with #1 ranked Stanford on the road this Sunday. And finally, tomorrow night, the LA Rams will be doing battle with the Vikings at the Coliseum. But those in the USC area could find themselves in a definitely different type of battle. We'll have more after the break.
Recently, our country has witnessed catastrophic devastation. Hurricanes and flooding have upended lives and livelihoods.
Across this great country, Americans have answered the call.
That special calling that compels us, when others are down, to step up and do whatever it takes.
America's at her best when, against all odds, we come together and lift each other up.
Please donate to oneamericaappeal.org. America needs you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Listen, I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you judge me for having a problem. No one is going to know that I need help. I need help. I know that no one is going to judge me for having a problem. I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you listen. Bye-bye.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right?
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
And welcome back to ATVN. Coming off of a thrilling win last Friday night at the Coliseum against Washington State, USC now takes to the road to do battle with the Arizona Wildcats. Currently sitting at 1-1 in conference play, a win this Saturday against Arizona would essentially put USC in the driver's seat of the Pac-12 South Division. But USC head coach Clay Helland knows that whenever you go up against Khalil Tate and the Wildcats, you're in for a tough one.
That you compete against a Pac-12 South opponent, you know that you control your own destiny by getting those wins. Coach Summerlin, I think, has done a great job progressing his team from game 1 to game 4, coming off back-to-back wins.
Following this week's contest with Arizona, USC will enjoy a bye week before resuming play against Colorado at home on October 13th. And now, technically sticking with football, let's chat a bit about the #2 ranked USC women's soccer team. They'll be hitting the Bay Area this weekend for matchups against Cal and, yes, the reigning, defending, #1 ranked Stanford Cardinal. But now, let's take a peek at the numbers behind USC's blazing hot start to the season. The women of Troy have been nothing short of sensational so far in 2018, breaking school records for wins and goal differential through 9 matches. And also, goalkeeper Kaylee Collins has been, as the kids say, on point this season, recording 7 shutouts to this point in the year. Collins also was named the Pac-12 Goalkeeper of the Week after shutout performances against #4 Florida State and Florida last week. But back to this weekend, Sunday's matchup with Stanford will be pitting the 2 reigning national champions in a game that could really be considered a pseudo-national title game. USC kicks off their Bay Area weekend with a matchup tomorrow afternoon against the Cal Golden Bears in Berkeley. That'll do it for sports on the USC spectrum, but now let's take a look at the professional side of things as sports correspondent Cecil Hannibal has more on the LA Rams contest at the Coliseum tomorrow night.
The LA Rams are taking on the Minnesota Vikings at the Coliseum tomorrow evening. Rams fans are expected to be all over USC campus, and a game on a school night could affect USC students. By 2 p.m. tomorrow, these streets will be full of traffic. USC Transportation says congestion from the Rams game could start as early as 2 p.m.
I mean, it's kind of ridiculous just because there's a lot. It's a regular day, so there's going to be a lot going on, and I think maybe they should focus on the kids trying to focus during school. But
this USC student says having a weekday game while classes and midterms are going on is a distraction. Rams fans will be all over campus to park at the Grand Avenue structure and the USC Shrine. For USC students, their biggest concern is how this will affect their transportation home. The game is more than just a traffic inconvenience. USC is pushing back the start time of the Campus Cruiser and the Lyft Safe Ride program, which for students could affect their safety.
Oh, that's definitely unsafe. You know, I mean, hopefully because there's more people around because of the game that like it will stay like a little bit safe, maybe more police presence, but I wouldn't want to be walking around here at night.
I do think it's going to affect people's safety, maybe the people that live off campus like Lorenzo or something who still need a ride home after class.
Or you might have a long day and want to get home on your Lyft like you normally do and then realize, oh, it's not working, what do I do now? So
USC Transportation made announcements today through email and social media warning students about tomorrow's schedule. At 3 p.m., Grand Avenue and the USC Shrine will be open to the general public. And after 5 p.m., all USC parking structures will be open. USC administration urges students to plan ahead. Angel, back to you.
Well, I'll say it's moments like these where I'm glad to say that I'm a biker on this campus, not working around in a car.
That's for sure. Well, thank you, Angel. Calling all drivers.
Mario Kart fans may soon get to race on the real streets of LA.
Hey guys, Danny Trejo here. There was going to be a whole song and dance routine about how you should wait your turn to enter the train. But they got me, Danny Trejo, to talk to you instead. Look, when you don't wait your turn to enter the train, it's rude and potentially dangerous. And believe me, I know a thing or two about rude and dangerous. I'm Danny Trejo. Don't be like rude, dude. Be kind, like super kind. Excuse me.
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. As it turns out, we have very similar personalities. And this cat makes me make art because he's always motivating me to take pictures of him, to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. It's just that simple. Well, he's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
Have you ever wished that you could compete in a real-life Mario Kart race? Well, your wish has come true. About 600 Angelinos will be able to compete in the Mushroom Rally, a Mario Kart-themed event where participants dress up as their favorite characters and race. The Australian-based event is coming to LA in early 2019.
Well, thanks for watching Annenberg TV News. From everyone at Annenberg Media, I'm Colin Taylor. Is anyone else excited?
And I'm Taylor Elliott. You can watch us on the web at uscannenbergmedia.com. Good night from everyone at the desk.
Mario Kart, man.
Mario Kart.